Good morning. It is 6:42 a.m. on Thursday, May 23rd, 2019. I'm Christiana Ellis, and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. So I'm up earlier than I have been because I have to get all packed and ready for Balticon, but today is a big day for another reason. My book, Phyllis Esposito, Interdimensional Private Eye, is now available for purchase on the Amazon store. It's an ebook, and I'm very proud of it. I'm going to talk a little bit about it. So, the inspiration for Phyllis Esposito, Interdimensional Private Eye, actually started less about the story itself and more about writing routines. I have always appreciated daily routines, as you might be aware with this video series, but it occurred to me, along with my interest in improv comedy classes, that putting myself on the spot would be an interesting challenge for writing. I decided that I would set myself a routine where every single day I would write at least 500 words of a story, and then I would post it online immediately to have it be about accountability. Because like many writers, I sometimes find that the issue is not so much being able to put words on paper as much as being willing to say, now the words go out into the world. But I set this challenge for myself, and I was determined to keep going with it. And I wanted to give myself permission to write about anything. And so it occurred to me that a story which could blend elements of fantasy and science fiction could give me a lot of room to work with. And I've always loved detective stories, and so I decided something that was going to have a lot of established tropes that I could kind of play with would also be helpful. Now, what did not occur to me when I started writing is that when you are going to write a story where you don't know the end at the beginning, a mystery is not necessarily the ideal story structure to choose. However, despite making some extra work for myself in that regard, I am very proud with how the story came out. All the way from January to August that year, I wrote every single day, and I posted the words every single day on my site. And I was just really became a fan of this character, of Phyllis, and the adventures I had with her. And the story is something I'm really proud of. And so I finished it, but one of the things that I always struggled with, separate from the writing itself, was just the website format. And I heard from several people that they were interested in the story, that they were reading along for a little while, but just the daily chunks and then the website interface just made it kind of hard to keep up. Or if you missed a couple of days, it was hard to remember where you were. And I get that. And so it occurred to me that the story was something that I thought could transcend the original format. And so I set about rewriting it to be in a more traditional prose structure instead of in these little daily serial chunks. And I did. And even still, just like the whole experiment was intended to assist with from the beginning, there was still a part of me that held on to it and said, oh, it's not ready, it's not ready. But then I decided it's ready. It is ready. And it's not anything about the story that was making me hesitate. It was just being willing to put it out there. But Phyllis Esposito is a character that I wanted to have her story told more broadly. And so I decided, here it is. And so now, today, it's available for you to buy. So who is Phyllis Esposito? She is a classic noir-inspired private detective with, of course, one major difference being she's a woman. You didn't see that a whole lot in a lot of those noir movies. But one thing that makes her stand out in her profession also is that she has embedded in her left forearm a portal generator that allows her to jump between parallel dimensions at will. And it turns out that in a multiverse where you can be jumping around between parallel dimensions, mysteries can be a little bit more challenging to decipher until you have a portal generator. And so she sets up work to solve mysteries, find people in all these different dimensions. But we learn very quickly that she has some damage and baggage in her past. She's running from something. She's gotten herself addicted to a drug called Sponge, and she describes in the very beginning that what it gives is a feeling of certainty. Have you ever felt unsure? Ever felt insecure about what you're doing and whether you're making the right choices? That's a drug that will make you feel like you know exactly what you're doing and everything is just right. But we also learn a little bit about her past work history, maybe includes some not so upright and noble professions. And, oh gosh, I don't want to give a misinterpretation there. When I say not so upright, I mostly mean morally upright, not physically. I'm not suggesting, anyway, that's awkward. Okay, so, but she meets a wide cast of characters, people that she helps, people that help her, and then, of course, a whole cast of antagonists designed to thwart her path as she attempts to solve the mystery and save the day. And as I've said, I'm very proud of this story, and it is available now as an ebook to purchase on Amazon.com, so I hope you'll give it a look. And in the meantime, I've got to finish packing for Balticon, so I'll talk to you tomorrow for 5 more minutes.